Hello YouTubers, and welcome to my channel again. I've got some upcoming videos with new records coming up, but I thought I'm going to start by showing you something that I received in the mail today, and well, I'm going to start by just showing it to you. And I have to move the mic a bit. What's this? Well, it's a record with Miles Davis and the modern jazz giants, with Thelonious Monk, Milt Jackson, Sonny Rollins, Horace Silver, Percy Heath, Kenny Clarke, and it's a prestige album. You can see that the actual sleeve is rather beat up, and we have a big chunk missing here, which isn't nice at all. But still, I managed to buy this. I decided to buy this for one reason, and I'm going to show you the record. It's prestige record from the 1950s, not in very good condition, but I have to say it's not in good condition. But this is what's so interesting with this album. Have a look at the label. Can you see to the right of the hole? 16 RPM. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 16 RPM album, which means that it's a 12-inch 16 RPM record, and I have to say I've never owned a 16 RPM record before. Next year it's 30 years since I started buying records. 30 years. It's, well, maybe 20 years since I started regarding myself as a record collector, so I am a veteran when it comes to this. And at the old record players from the 60s, I could see they had 16 RPM, 33 RPM, 45 RPM, 78 RPM. 33, 45 and RPM. Well, of course I understood what they were for, but 60. Then, of course, since I started hanging out on YouTube and watch interesting videos from all over the world, I've managed to see a couple of videos with 16 RPM records. Most of the time I see these made for special jukeboxes with, well, quite horrible background music meant to be played for the workers so they work even faster, which is a awful way of using music. I really despise that. So I thought, well, if that's what 16 RPM was meant to be for, and I think I've seen talking books, readings of different books on 16 RPM records. Well, on photographs and on maybe a YouTube video, but I've never owned a 16 RPM record. So in my filing, I have to really, well, it's a new category of records now, 16 RPMs, and well, since the musical contents looks quite interesting. I mean, Miles Davis is always Miles Davis. You got that one, Jonas? Well, well, if you had it, would you be able to play it? That is, of course, a problem with today's gramophones, that they don't have 16 RPM as an option. But I have my Lenco up there. You can just see it up there somewhere. And you can actually vary the speed from, well, a bit lower than 16 RPM actually up to, well, probably around 85, 90. I haven't really checked, but so one of the presets is 16 RPM. So I thought we're going to listen to this for a minute or two, or to listen to. Well, as I said, the record is rather beat up. So, and of course, and it's 16 RPM. So I don't expect that incredibly nice sound here, but I think let's have a listen. Do anybody else here in the vinyl community have any 16 RPMs in your collection. Would be very nice to know that. Very interesting. Well, let's listen to it. Well, what do you say? Not that bad, actually. I thought it sounded much better than I expected. Well, for the fact it's worn, but then I think that 50s vinyl. Well, of course, now we're talking about long-playing albums of the 33 and a third variation. Often sound much better than they look. This is a long-playing record of a very long-playing 16 RPM variation. It would be nice to... I haven't listened to it to the whole record yet, but it would be nice to check actually how long the time, how much recorded is on this. Well, since it's half the speed of a 33 RPM, and 33 RPMs are around 20 minutes, or maybe even more. It might be 40 minutes per side, but actually I'm not sure, but I'm checking that later. And also I'm not sure how good the inner track of this album sounds, with less sound info in the actual track, in the groove. So but I have to say, for being a first 16 RPM, okay, it's worn, it looks quite bad, but I have to say I'm very happy I found this. I've been wanting a 16 RPM record for many years, just because I really wanted to see what it sounds like to play a record at 16 RPM. It looks really weird to see this very slow spinning. From being on YouTube, I've actually learned that there are even 8 RPM records, mainly made for those who are blind, or maybe just see bad. Recorded newspapers and recorded books. I've heard some short excerpts on YouTube with those kind of recordings, but they actually sound quite bad. Definitely not for music. And I thought that 16 RPM wouldn't be for music either, but it's okay. Definitely worth listening to. So, right, YouTubers in the vinyl community and elsewhere, have you got any 16 RPMs? If so, why not show them? Talk a bit about them. It's not a thread, but it's just an idea for a video. Okay, have a very nice evening, whoever you are.